Uh, okay, so I think we are going live on YouTube now. So, can I please request all of you to turn your cameras on? And I see that some of our students have messaged that they're joining, so we'll let them join. In the meantime, I think we can get started. So, good evening, everyone, and a big welcome to all of you joining us, especially those who are tuning in live on YouTube. I'm Bhavya from Scholastic India, and I will be walking you through this evening's celebration. And this is a pretty special evening for us, not just because we are launching a book, although, that is exciting, but also because we are celebrating the power of stories, the skill and talent of storytelling, the effort, and of course, the creativity that all of our young writers have poured into this project. And I know it's been such a journey for them, and we're thrilled to be here to share the final result with all of you. So, the book that we are launching today is Pens on Paper, 20 Terrific Tales from some of the most talented 20 authors that we've had in our batch. It's a brand new anthology, and it features student authors from all across the country. And this book, I'd say, is the final beautiful result of an intensive but fun, engaging process, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But first, I see that some students have joined us on Zoom. I'm just going to let them in. Right. So I'd love to introduce, first of all, two very special guests who are here with us today. First up is our chief guest, Ms. Dipinder Kaur. Ma'am, thank you so much for being here. It truly means a lot to us and to our authors as well. And ma'am, with your permission, I'd love to take a moment to tell everyone a little bit about you. Okay, so Miss Dipinder Kaur, she's the principal of Lions Public School, and she's a seasoned educationist and a dynamic leader with over 30 years of experience in school education and administration. She has taught in convents, KVs, public schools, and has worked all across the field. And she's spent nearly 2 decades with the DPS family itself, working first at DPS Jalandhar and then DPS Sector 45 Gurgaon before heading DPS Patodi, and she's now leading Lions Public School for the past 3 years. She's a lifelong learner, and she calls herself fortunate to have taught and learned across schools all over India, experiences that, in her words, have enriched her life and shaped her journey. And she's a firm believer in physical fitness. She often says that sports teach some of the most valuable life lessons and are central to a child's holistic development. Of course, with her adventurous spirit and commitment to positive change, she continues to reimagine education in ways that inspire both students and teachers alike. So, thank you so much, ma'am. We are really honored to have you here with us today. And I know that your presence and your words will mean a lot to our young authors.
Thank you so much for introducing me.
Thank you, ma'am. And now, of course, the person who has been in the writer's room, so to speak, with all of these young authors, I'm sure our authors here would not need any introduction to him, but for those who are watching us on YouTube, this is the person who helped shape their stories, gave them the feedback they needed, uh, asked them all the tough questions, and I'm sure answered a bunch of them as well. Our wonderful mentor, Anmol. Hi, Anmol. It's been a while, and we're glad
Hi.
to see you here again.
So glad to be here again and so glad to be seeing everybody again.
So Anmol Sharma, he is an education consultant and a writer with a master's in literature from St. Stephen's College, University of Delhi. During his time there, he also worked as a research associate at the Center of Gender, Culture, and Social Processes. His work often explores the messy, fascinating overlap between literature and reality, touching on culture, desire, and all the spaces in between. And he has also served as editor of The Carol, the biannual periodical published by the Department of English, DCAC. And beyond the page, his love for ideas and argument drew him to parliamentary debating in college, where he honed both sharp thinking and, of course, a flair for dialogue. And Anmol is also a seasoned mentor at the Scholastic Writers Academy. He has guided dozens of young writers in finding their voices and turning their ideas into published stories. So, Anmol, it must be lovely seeing all of our young authors again after all this time.
Oh, yes, it's absolutely fantastic. And now that I see them again, I am reminded of the breakout rooms that we had where I discussed all of their stories with them. So, yeah, it's lovely to see everybody now.
That's nice to hear. And for all of those watching, first let me tell you a little bit about how we got here. So, Scholastic Writers Academy is, as I mentioned, an intensive, engaging 10-day mentorship program that we run for young writers. So, over the course of these 2 weeks, students work closely with a mentor, brainstorm ideas, learn how to structure their stories, editing, revising, and of course, eventually presenting an original short story of their own. And not just that, they also write their author bios, just like real published authors, which they now are. So once the stories are done, our team at Scholastic steps in and brings them all together into a professional anthology, a real book with their name in print. And today, that's one of the books that we're launching. So far, we've had around 2,500 students go through this program and get published. And to think that so many writers have so dedicatedly indulged in and honed their skills for this craft, it's very heartening to know and witness, which is why the celebration, because this effort and sincerity, it definitely deserves to be lauded. Right, so let's, without any further ado, let's get to the big moment. Dipinda ma'am, with your permission, I'd like to request you to officially launch the book and hold it up for us. And for everyone here, if you've got your copy with you, you should also hold it up. If not, that's also okay. Just flash us your most excited, proud face, and we'd love to see it. And ma'am, I'm sure that our authors would also love to hear a few words of advice or congratulations from your end.
So here we officially launch this book.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so very, very proud and honored to launch this very, very special book, a collection of stories written by our budding authors. I have gone through each and every story. In fact, I was on the flight in the morning at 6:30, and throughout my 1 hour flight from Delhi to Amritsar, and then I took a cab from Amritsar to Jalandhar. I kept reading, so I was able to finish all the 20 beautiful stories. So, and I found this to be a treasure of imagination. It's full of creativity, and the narration is extremely good. I never got an opportunity to write as you people have got, and I must say that writing story requires a lot of courage, a lot of consistency. We otherwise keep falling on the back foot. Oh, whether I'll be able to do it or not do it. And I've seen that you've let your imagination run wild, and with good results. I have seen in each story, there's that I could see that sense of curiosity, which kind of egged you on to move forward. And I think each of you authors, you've seen the world with different eyes, and you have given a sneak peek into a lot of things. And I really enjoyed reading them. I feel each story is a window to the young children's minds, their dreams, their hopes, and of course, looking for solutions for a better tomorrow. I found that children would in their stories they had interwoven, they had talked about new. I know this one child he had mentioned about. I think it was Vihan Gupta. He is beautifully interwoven science and magic together, and at the same time he wants to become a own a hotel. So, and a lot of children I've seen when I was reading their profile, they are fond of sports, and I think that's really very good. And then I also found that children are fond of playing badminton. And most important, what I observed that uh, I think their parents have played a major role in moving them in this direction. And I thank these parents because these days the habit of reading and writing is slowly waning. But I really admire your parents. Do convey my gratitude to them for putting you in the right direction. Your stories have been very, very inspiring. I think they are inspiring for all age groups. I found them very good. They did touch a chord in my heart, all stories, in fact. And I'm certainly going to, a couple of books for my school library. And I'm really very honored to be part of this beautiful moment. And I am sure you will continue to inspire others whose hands, I mean, when they have this book in their hand, it's a different feel altogether when you hold a book in hand, right? So keep on writing, keep on reading. And I've also seen that all of you, without fail, have maintained a balance between your academics and your reading and writing. So kudos to each one of you, and congratulations to you, to your parents, and to the schools also. Like I also read in many of the profiles that there were a lot of teachers who kind of motivated you to write. So yes, I mean the job of teachers is really good, and please congratulate them and show my gratitude to them. So God bless you, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And that was wonderful to hear. Anmol, I know that you've been a big part of their journey. So, starting with you first, tell us about your experience of this batch and working with these authors.
Oh, so this was a full batch, 20 students, I think, and it's a batch, I think, which was probably one of the most diverse, I would say, in terms of generic preferences, because you have everything here from young adult to historical fiction to fantasy to slice of life to horror, etc. And I think that that's what makes Scholastic so interesting in terms of how everybody comes here from different parts of the country, think together, bounce off ideas from each other, and to sort of go on their individual writing journeys, but at the same time help each other, right, in whatever little ways they can. So it was just honestly a great batch because I think that some of the stories here are just full of exceptional storytelling, which helped me to sort of approach storytelling in a way that was new and that was probably unfamiliar to me. And I think that was made possible because of how children often have really unwieldy and unlimited imaginations because, of course, they're not structured and limited by, let's say, the weight of time, by how when we grow up, we are sort of straitjacketed into, you know, similar kinds of thinking. And that is not the case with children. So it was a lovely, lovely batch. And I'm so glad to be seeing all of these faces again. So would you mind if I just talk to them for a little bit? Okay, so everybody here, how was your experience of when you saw the book for the first time, and how has your reading and writing, how have your reading and writing habits been since I think it's been almost a year since, the workshop happened. So how's that going? Just talk to me about your experiences. Vyom, would you like to start?
It was actually it was a very different experience. As ma'am said, it had to be balanced out with academic life. It became hectic a lot, since at the same time I also had my exams going on. I remember still like having a book,
Yeah.
chemistry book in this hand. I was typing in this with this hand. It was hectic, and at the same time, when I saw the book for the first time, it was actually a first time when a parcel had been addressed with my name. So it felt like I felt adult kind of, but because like a lot of times when my mother or father orders things for me and my brother, it's always from their name. So it felt different, and I felt a sense of pride that I had never felt before, and it feels just so accomplished that I have actually done this, and I'm still over the moon at this point of time. And I've distributed a few copies out to my friends. They've asked a lot of questions and given me a lot of feedback. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And that's all.
Oh, that's lovely to know. Just the feeling of seeing your name for the first time, and maybe I think, let this be a motivation that continues to inspire you to write, because you can then have so many more stories to your name, right? Anaya, would any of you like to share your experiences? Anaya?
So, yeah. So my writing and reading skills have definitely improved since that time. And I've started to write I've started to write more different genres, and like I have really, like, my interest in reading has really gone up. And I remember the first, like, I think it was around New Year's, and my mom came into my room with the book in the hand, and she's like, "Anaya, your book has arrived." I was elated. I was actually very, very excited. And like, I went through my copy, I went through my book, I went through all other stories, and I discussed them with my family. Then I sent a voice message to all my teachers, thanked them. And yeah, that's it. I was really happy, and I actually felt really proud at that time, seeing my name on print, seeing my story published. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, that's lovely to know. And did you make your friends read your story as well?
Yes, they loved it.
Okay, glad. And have you continued writing since then, or no?
Continued. I've written a lot of different books on books, and yeah, I keep on writing new things.
Okay, no, that's lovely to hear. As Ma'am Dipinder said, we also live in a world where reading and writing skills are on the wane. So it's good to see that, some people are still continuing to pass the torch of reading and writing. So just keep on doing that, yeah? Jiu, would you like to share your experiences? Can you hear me, Jiu?
Well, when I first saw the book, I was actually really excited. And then I shared with my friends and family, and my teachers. And then my friends also liked the story. So that's
Okay.
it.
What did they like about your story?
They liked how the writing style and how it was and organized into chapters.
Okay. And do they have a favorite character in your story?
No.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
add something over here, Gio?
Yes, please.
I loved your phrase you've written that humans are two-legged monkeys. You've used it somewhere. It was, I think it's you had written in, you are Gio, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in your story, you mentioned this, and I found it quite interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And which is why stories can sort of help us see very familiar things in very new ways, and which is why we found such phrases so interesting, right? Because just absolutely casting humans in an animalistic light and what that means for ideas of hierarchies between different species, etc., etc. So wonderfully done, Jew. But continue reading, continue writing. That's all we can hope. Kanisha, would you like to share your thoughts? Kanisha, can you hear me?
I think she might have some issues with her mic. Also, I did want to add, Gio, I think this is your second time speaking about this book. Like, I think for most of our authors here, apart from discussing it with their friends or their teachers, Gio also spoke about his experience with Writers Academy and the book itself at the World Book Fair, right? I think in February, I remember meeting you. Yes. So has your excitement still remained the same about the book, or has it gone down a bit after speaking about it at a national platform?
I feel like it has gone on a bit.
It's gone down a bit. So have you continued writing to maintain that excitement of talking about your work? Have you written anything since then?
Not really, as I've been focused on schoolwork.
You focus on schoolwork, which is also just as important. But do make sure that you also set aside time for reading and writing in your everyday life, like at least like 15-20 minutes, even if you're not writing anything intensive, maybe just take out time to sort out your day, what you experienced, anything new that you saw or ate, or anything, your day-to-day life. Even just writing about that helps you keep your writing habit consistent, right? What about Sharayu? Am I pronouncing the name right?
Yeah, pretty much. Most people mess up my name. Uh, Honestly, seeing the book for the first time, it felt surreal. Like like honest, like it was finally here, and I was very excited to see it, and I did get extra copies for most of my friends and family, and like they were also very supportive throughout the process, and I got lots of feedback from a lot of them, which also I feel like has helped me a lot. It was a fun experience, informative also.
I see that Vyom has raised his hand, but yes, thank you, Sharayu. That was really nice to hear. I also want to ask, did any of you distribute your visiting cards, your author visiting cards? Yes, yes. Okay, Vyom, I see you shaking your head. So go ahead.
Okay, so it was when first day in school after I got the book back. It was actually like it was like a gift for my exams ending. It was like that. So not that exam, other exam, a lot of exams. It was extremely. I bought this fat stack of the cards, around 20-25 of them. I gave them to my class teacher. I gave them to my principal, and I literally spent my whole lunch break doing that. But the next day, they after they found out, I was called into the assembly, and when they talked about my book, it just felt, I don't know the word, it felt accomplishment and pride at the highest level. They get to finally do what I want to. I forgot to mention this part when I talked earlier. And when you asked a lot of us, that are we currently writing or are we gone down a little bit, I'm in the process of writing my third book at this point. And I don't think the first one qualifies since it was on rebooks. So second book there. It's still going fast. It's going hectic and fast at the same time, but still, I my love for writing and reading has not gone down even a little bit. Yeah, that's it.
That's good to hear. What about you, Anaya? Have you continued writing since then?
Well, at first, not really, but recently, with my exams approaching and everything, I am writing more than ever, so that like a practice for my like my exams remains as well. And yeah, I'm getting lot of new ideas recently. So yes.
Lovely. And Pridyansh, what about you? Pridyansh, are you here with us? Can you hear us?
Yes, it was
The-
a very good experience. I still think about the tips that you have given us when I'm writing just a small short story. Uh, so it was really good.
Okay, glad to hear that. And what have you been writing these days? Like, are you writing something these days?
Sometimes I could write a short story here and there, but not a lot.
What was the last thing you wrote about?
Uh, I think I was writing something online about, um, I can't remember exactly.
Okay, no worries. Just as long as, and I think we just had this discussion where we're talking about, you continue to read and write alongside your academics, but so that's important. But what I'd like to also highlight here is that we should not also think of reading and writing as something that's purely external to your academics, because the idea is that if you do read more and if you do write more, your academics would obviously improve. It's not a very direct relation. It's a relation which starts to shape up over a long period of time, but it does definitely happen. You do get smarter, you do get more articulate, you do get more wise over the long term. And that will definitely lead you to doing well in your academics as well, which is another reason for you to read more and write more. So don't think of it as, don't think of it of reading as a guilty pleasure. And when I say that, I also mean, that you try to challenge yourself through your readings instead of reading only things that are popular, right? Try to read things that are good, because of course there's popularity, but then there's also literary merit. So try to balance the two, and then you'll see that your academics will sort of improve as well. So yeah, it's the two mutually inform each other. Um, am I still audible? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, sir, I hear you perfectly.
Yes. And I think we haven't heard from Nandini yet, right? You joined recently. So tell us about your experience um, of how it felt when you first received the book in your hands.
Well, well, at first I was very nervous because the first thing I did when I opened the book was analyze all the mistakes I'd made. And that made me very, very nervous that, oh my God, how is anybody going to like this? And to my surprise, a lot of people actually liked my story, which was surprising to me. And now I want to like fix this feeling of nervousness by like taking the feedback I received from the sessions, and like I'm recently writing a novel this time and not a short story, and I'm thinking of getting it published by Scholastic only.
Well, that's good to hear.
Very
So
good.
do feel free to send your manuscript to us anytime. And it's nice to hear that, you are incorporating the feedback that you got at that time, and are trying to make yourself more open to the experience of writing without being nervous about it. But yes, we do tend to be our own harshest critic. So even if you feel surprised by other people liking your story, um, it's all a sign of your talent and your skill, and how objectively you see your own writing, right? So do try to take it in stride and don't let it stop you from, pursuing writing at all. Okay? Does that sound good? Great. I see that Kenisha has joined us again. Kenisha, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I'm
Hello.
able to hear you. So when I first received the book, this is my second book, so I was actually really excited to see what we have written, what like everyone has written. So first I started by reading the full book, and like I also noticed that we got business cards. So the next day in school, I went back to my class. So I've had the same class for like 3 years, and they've witnessed my journey for the past 3 years, and safe to say they were super happy to see my second book. And my school has 4 libraries, and my book is in all of them. So I also went around giving the business cards to a lot of my teachers. And I vividly remember telling my coordinator, who's my math teacher, pleasure doing business with you. So it was a really nice experience to see my work getting recognized by so many people. And then the principal sent me a congratulatory letter, and I'm pretty sure that's a very big part of what's kept me going. My reading habits have increased greatly, and I had to get a lot of extra shelves to keep my extra books. But it's okay because reading is a wonderful thing, and it served as an escape from reality for me multiple times, and I'm excited to write more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad to see that, this experience has not only fueled you to continue writing, but indulge more in your reading habits. Even Anaya mentioned that. So it's really nice to see you taking it so seriously. And I hope that that sense of ownership that you felt, that Vyom also mentioned when he first got the book and how he saw his name on the parcel for the first time, and how that started, like that was the start of that sense of ownership you have over your own writing. I hope that fuels you to write even more and to, you know, develop that skill and that talent into more meaningful works. I hope that Writers Academy was just a step in your journey, the starting step, and you only build on that from here on out. So thank you so much for
Can,
sharing that.
can I ask Kanisha a question?
Yes, please, ma'am, go ahead.
I was quite intrigued when I was reading your story because I think it talks about two entities, victory and defeat, right? So I just want to know, how did this thing come to your mind? And at the end, victory and defeat apologize to each other. So, I mean, how did you think of these two things? And at the end, they're apologizing and all.
Well, honestly, in my seventh grade, we had this chapter called Beyond Victory and Defeat. It was a poem in our English class, and in the class, when ma'am was reading it out, I found it funny how people are always, what do you call it, glorifying victory and never actually taking the time to think about what defeat gives us, because the benefits and what we learn from defeat are so much more. So from that thought,
Okay.
I kept on going in my mind until I thought of them as two entities which could have been born as
Okay.
twins and their dual
Okay.
nature, and I decided to input that into a story. The first draft of that story came out in that class only, and I showed it to my English teacher. She was really pleased with the script, and she recommended that I go and attempt to get it published, and here we are.
Good. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Bhavya, you are on mute. You need
Right,
to
that does seem to happen. Thank you so much for pointing that out. That was nice to hear from all of you. Anmol, do you have any more questions for our young authors?
Yeah, just wanted to ask, like, if you could now write the same story, what would you choose to do differently on there? It's always fun to see how people react with time to their own writing. So just a quick round, if everybody could quickly answer. Um, Vyom?
Yeah, sure. So, the first time if I had written this book, it came to my mind for the first time. I just winged it, kept getting more and more ideas. So, the catch I would say is that you can only have 1,200 words in this point. So, I would probably add way more detail and way more description to help the readers get that image in their mind, that what is actually happening, how it is happening, and yeah, add more details.
Yeah, lovely. Anybody else? Yes, Nandini?
So like a challenge I faced is actually the same as Vyom. I would like to say there was only this word limit, and I wanted to like elaborate on my book a lot more. I wanted to build the character development a lot better, and instead it ended up being like not enough character development.
Right, but of course, when you work with like word limits, you have to write your story in a specific way. So I don't think that that's entirely on you. I think that's like one of the ways in which your story is impacted by the strictures of the word limit, right? So that's just what it is. Anybody else? Okay, so this has been lovely meeting you guys again. And at least from my side, what I would say to wrap this up and just as parting words would be to continue reading and writing because it helps you think, and we need people who think in this world. So yeah, and just support local writers, support writers in different languages, buy books in translation, buy books of different kinds, and support different arts, watch films that are beyond popular films, and yeah, live a world live a life that engages with that, and your life will be all the more.
Uh, That sounds like great advice. Thank you so much, Anmol. Deepinder ma'am, any final parting words for our authors? Any words of advice?
No, first of all, I would like to thank Scholastics Writers Academy for, nourishing the creative faculties of these budding authors. And after reading their profiles, I'm sure they're going to be writing and writing and writing. They'll end up writing novels, more books, and they'll do us proud. So thank you, and carry on doing this great work.
Thank you so much. And I think it's just as validating for us to see our authors, bloom into these wonderful writers who are aware of what they want to, put out into the world and constantly focus on bettering themselves through their work, through their academics. So I hope that all of you continue this journey further. And as Anmol said, continue reading, continue writing. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, try and indulge that habit as consistently as you can. And thank you so much. And of course, congratulations to all of you. You guys have done great. I think very few people, even well into adulthood, can brag about being authors. And the fact that all of you can do it now is not only testament to your skill and talent, but also calls for gratitude to your parents, your teachers, and your friends who supported your work and your journey, right? So do make sure to thank them as well. And thank you so much everyone for joining and taking time out today. It's great, and I hope that we'll continue to stay in touch even after this and work on more workshops together. Thank you so much. Best of luck, and bye bye everyone.
Congratulations. Bye bye. God bless you all.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.